Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Ted, hanging out with the crew today.
I'm Nate.
I'm Dave.
I'm Nerdarchist Ryan.
And today we're going to talk about favoritism, or the reverse happening at the at your gaming table.
Also known as haterism.
Haterism. Could be
Whatever
haterism.
the term is for
Whatever
that.
ism we made up for it.
Before we get into it, jump down to the description below, sign up for the newsletter. It's a great way to get tips and stuff delivered straight to your inbox, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy. So this idea came up as, I was talking history and stories with some friends. So we've been gaming for a long time. We've all seen something happen at the table where somebody either gets something or is able to do something solely because of a relationship with the DM.
Wait a minute. Is this video really about how to sleep with the DM to get what you want for your character in game?
That's really what
I think it's how to deal and cope with the situation.
From not being the person sleeping with a DM.
Or be willing to. Be open to it. Is really what it comes down to.
So, and then of course there's the reverse of it, of, something bad happening to a player.
Why are you always picking on me?
Because, there's an issue between a player and a DM.
Yeah.
No,
or sometimes there's like an in-group, out-group where it's an established group of people and you're like the new
You're
person.
the new guy, right.
Yeah, and like you're lowest on the pecking order and it just seems like
And terrible things happen to you way too often.
Yeah.
Like, I'm related to a lot of the players at my table, so I purposely be mean to them so people never think that, I'm playing favorites.
Right, yeah.
Like, if one of them is going to get testicular cancer in game, it's one of those guys.
Yeah, right. There you go.
So, I've heard this come up in the comments a lot where people talk about it. And it seems like it's the worst when the GM has a relationship or a spouse or a significant other,
the significant other problem
in the group, and that person usually gets all the good stuff and favoritism towards that character,
or is allowed to just do things that
or out of the scope of the level of the character that they're playing, type of situation.
Like, I've heard it as bad as to the point where the other characters didn't even feel like they needed to show up because they had this one character there that could do it all.
Yeah.
The wonder person.
So if you're at the table and you see this going on, how do you cope with it? How do you deal with it?
Well, I want to say we used to see it a lot in some of our older games, where we used to say if that DM liked your character or hated your character, it was the worst thing ever to happen.
Either
to
which
character.
way, yeah.
You had to be neutral. He had to be blasé about your character.
Yeah,
he had to overlook you and just be like,
because otherwise
it's your turn now.
he would do things for your character whether you wanted them
Against your will, yeah.
Or if he didn't like your character, you're more likely to have bad stuff happen to them. So we've definitely seen it and unfortunately, I don't know that there's a whole lot you can do in these scenarios because it's not a game problem. It's
a person problem.
It's an at the table problem.
If when you call somebody on and be like, yo, you keep giving your boyfriend all the best stuff and we notice the monsters never attack him, there's no way for that person to not get defensive.
Right.
Yeah.
When you're basically saying, you're being a douche or you're being a dick about this whole thing, I don't even know why we play this stupid game.
Yeah.
So I don't. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a lot of solutions to this one. Usually, I feel like there's a lot of where you can talk things out and kind of work things out. You can attempt that route in this scenario, but the problem is this is a very, very personal subject matter.
It's a very specific kind of problem to have, where basically you really want to encourage the most neutral party person that might have an inclination and want a GM to be the GM. Yeah. Like the most person that's indifferent about everybody else.
One of the major issues with this is strong feelings are creating this problem. Yeah. So there's going to be strong feelings about anything dealing with the problem. Like, oh, we have a problem. No, we don't. Or, all this kind of guess who's getting murdered next session? Yeah. And they're like, don't you understand? This is the reason why I had this talk.
So I would say, for number one, as much as I dislike, talking behind someone's back, you could literally.
You're gonna recommend talking behind their back, aren't you?
I'm gonna say
backstabbing.
Talk to your fellow players that you don't feel are directly involved in this, nepotism or whatever have you, and say, okay, am I wrong? Am I seeing this? Are you guys seeing this?
Just so you get back up that other people feel the same way.
So if you feel this way and other players are like, oh, I don't see that at all, perhaps it's just a perception.
Or you're the hated person. Because the haters
you didn't know.
Yeah, you're the one person singled out.
For the rest of
Yeah, he's not doing anything bad to me.
You know, and then if it is totally a situation where it's like, oh yeah, they see it too, then perhaps, you know, it can be just like, you know, you can have a group conversation, and perhaps the DM isn't aware that it's going on. Perhaps, you know, they're like, hey, I didn't realize this was upsetting, or, you know, realize that this is detracting from everyone else's fun. You know, I'll try to, you know, deal with it. But you're correct too that it could possibly go the other way. But like, you know, screw you, it's my girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever have you. I'm gonna do what I want. You know. And
So like your best thing might be like, grab that DM and be like, you know what, we feel like you've been DMing too hard lately and you could use a break.
Yeah.
And someone else takes over.
Yeah, like that seems like...
but don't make it the other person.
Right. So... It seems like the favoritism is the easiest to fix, but like the haterism aspect of it, like if you're the person being singled out and everything's good for everyone else, you literally have no allies in this fight.
That's
you know, like because then it's just like it almost comes across as whining. If you're like, you know, like bad stuff just seems to inversely happen to my character, like
it's part of the game.
Yeah, and you're like part of the game. Suck it up. So like by that point, I don't know. You might just be better off finding like a better group,
or you be in the DM and make bad stuff happen to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, maybe that's it. Like you volunteered.
Have you ever played Apocalypse?
Yeah,
Apocalypse Time. I would say one of the things that could look like favoritism, but might just be the quantity of time you get to spend. So let's say we're making a campaign, and I talk with everybody, and I'm the DM. Well, the people that talk with me the most are probably going to get the most stuff.
Or the most input into the story.
They're going to get the most input, most backstory. It's kind of like... there was a DM that we played with in college. You had to get FaceTime with this person. Enough FaceTime.
Before there was the app to do
more than the 3 friends that he hangs out with all the time, or you're going to just be like a fly on the wall compared to these other guys.
It's true.
Simply because there was, you know, he wanted to develop a story, and those players were always there to give him stuff for the story. And it always happened to involve their characters.
Well, you know what, though? This almost sounds like the thing that tends to happen with like LARPing. Like there's the core group of the LARPing group, and the stories are just about those core group of people, and most other people that show up that aren't part of the core are just extras.
There are,
that's like
there
a
are
thing
some LARPs that are definitely like that.
Is that what happens when you LARP, Ryan?
This is a thing that I've heard that tends to be like a social paradigm.
Now, I mean, it's kind of like, well, you're stuck, like, you're the new person, and there's an in-crowd of people that have been there for 5-10 years.
Yeah.
So there's a social dynamic. You're a new guy showing up. But I think some of them do a good job of keeping that where it's not so impactful, like giving out special magic items for people, like not doing that. So that, you know, but there are some that just take it to the 9th level.
Yeah,
go for that. You know,
going back to that interaction level, I think it's absolutely true. Not only beforehand, but actually during game time as well. You know, when we're actually playing. You know, I'm one of our current DMs. I try to engage all characters, but if people are doing more with the story and actually engaging,
if they're directing it somewhere,
then like I'm going to keep going back to them because they're the ones that are going to help move the story.
Easy money.
I'm the guide here. I'm not, you know, I'm not the drive. The players are. I'm just the description. So if you're not giving to the DM, there's a good chance that he's not giving back to you.
Yeah, when a person's not responding to like, oh, what's your opinion on this matter? Where do you want to go? When they're not giving enough input, and 5 other people are, well, you're only going to waste your time asking that person so many times, per session.
So with this video, when we wrap this up, I usually we ask for other people to throw in their input and give their solutions. I don't really feel like there are many solutions to this one, so just give us your horror stories. You want to hear the worst horror story you got for us in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can check us out over on Instagram.
You can check us out on nerdarchy.com.
While you're over at nerdarchy.com, check out the swag there.
So until next time, stay nerdy.